I think we should probably go ahead and
Okay.
start, don't you, Taryn? Since
Yeah.
we're really packing a lot. It's an action-packed hour we have coming up. We're so glad everybody joined us. We'll turn things over now to Taryn.
All right. Thank you, Harriet. Well, good evening, and thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Taryn McGrew, and I am the chapter co-chair alongside the amazing Harriet Harvey Horn of the Bay Area chapter of the Climate Reality Project. On behalf of the chapter and the Climate Reality Project, we're happy that you have taken time out of your busy schedule to be with us this evening. We always like to start our meetings by always acknowledging the land that we all reside on. We want to acknowledge that we come together tonight across the greater San Francisco Bay Area on the ancestral lands of the Ohlone and Miwok peoples. We recognize the ongoing dedication and importance of the Ohlone people, the Miwok, and their culture. But most importantly, we acknowledge the land that we all gather, live, learn, and work on. Tonight, Harriet and I are coming to you because we are wanting to, it's with heavy hearts, our heavy hearts go out to the people in Atlanta, Georgia, for the past, but to the Asian and Pacific Islander community. We are acknowledging the injustices of racism and the violation of women's bodies. Thank you. Tonight, you are going to be introduced to the Climate Reality Bay Area Strategic Plan. You're going to meet the leadership team, and you're also going to learn more ways of engaging with the chapter. But what I want to say is that now that you have put all of your information in the chat of where you are in the Bay Area, and if you have time and you know the indigenous people of the land that you reside on, put that in the chat as well. But most importantly, put in there if you're a climate reality leader or just a member, because we're just happy to see your faces and all the new faces tonight. We welcome you. I wanted to give you a little bit of history about the Climate Reality Project, specifically the Climate Reality Bay Area chapter. It is one of the earliest and largest regional chapters of the Climate Reality Project, an organization founded in 2006 by former United States Vice President and Nobel laureate Al Gore. The purpose of forming this organization was to mobilize a worldwide grassroots network of climate activists. We take this mission to the local level with over 1,000 members, catalyzing solutions to the climate and climate justice crisis across the 10 counties and over 100 municipalities in the Bay Area. With hundreds of climate reality leaders trained by former United States Vice President Al Gore, and hundreds more committed to the community members, we are a tight-knit team taking urgent action to boldly adopt solutions to the climate crisis. Our goal is for the Bay Area and California to lead and serve as a compelling model of a regenerative future for the rest of the United States and of the world. But for all of you with us tonight, on behalf of the Climate Reality Project Bay Area chapter, Harriet and I would like to take this moment, this special moment, in recognizing our founders and emeritus chair, Wei Tai Kwok and Steve Richards. Are you guys here tonight? Where are you guys?
Woo!
There, I'm here, and I think Steve is actually joining us as well.
Yeah.
I'm here. Hey, everybody.
Oh, yay.
These gentlemen's compassion to end the climate change is the foundation of why we are all gathered here tonight and the reason we are all here tonight. But most importantly, because it is a chapter of over 1,000 members strong and growing rapidly. I want to tell you a little bit about Wei Tai. Wei Tai is the co-chair, of course. He was the co-chair of the San Francisco Bay Area chapter from 19, he is the founder and he is the former co-chair. He's also a business executive and public speaker focused on renewable energy, including solar and energy storage. He enjoys public speaking and engaging with a diverse range of individuals on the topic of climate change and global warming and what we can do a part of the solution. But there's something special that I like to share with you, and that is this book. This book is an inconvenient sequel to The Truth to Power, of which Wei Tai is featured. In this book, I'd like to read to you what former United States Vice President Al Gore had to say about him. Wei Tai should have been happy. His family life with a wife and 2 school-aged children was fulfilling. He had built the Bay Area farm, Dye Advertising, into an industry power player with a client that included Disney and Apple. But when he saw the inconvenient truth, it set him on a course that would change everything. In the days after the screening, he found himself preoccupied by the ways global change would affect the lives of his children. Wei Tai, being the person who is always meticulously researching his subject, he found that he was angered. He was perturbed, not just by the policymakers who he came to believe weren't doing enough to cut carbon emissions, but also at himself for a lifetime of complacency. I'm mad, he said. I realized that not only was I a part of the solution, but I was a part of the problem. It became an ethical issue to me that was intolerable. I could not enjoy being at work anymore. Wei Tai attended the 2013 Climate Reality Leadership Training in Chicago, where he learned to apply his experience in corporate communication to giving presentations about climate change. Afterwards, he set the goal of reaching 1,000 people in his hometown of Lafayette. And when he met it, he doubled the goal, reached it, and here we are today. So if you have a chance to get this book, he has it, and I have his autograph, which to me it just, brings out more value because I love books. And when I get the actual author's signature on that, it just is it just actually increased the investment of the book. Now, we're going to get to Steve Richards. Steve Richards, he was the climate reality. He served as the co-chair with Wei Tai from the summer of 2017 through 2019. He, like Wei Tai, moved to Lafayette in 1999, primarily because of the schools and believing it would be a great place to raise his kids. He and Wei Tai are responsible for the chapter's over 1,000 members. It's the largest in the United States. But prior to having an official chapter, Steve organized, before starting our chapter, he organized chapter meetups and boot camps starting in 2015. Prior to getting involved in the Climate Reality Project, he was the founder and president of a grassroots sustainability nonprofit called Sustainable Lafayette. Sustainable Lafayette was started by Steve and Mr. Bart Carr in 2007. Of course, being inspired by an inconvenienced truth. Steve and Bart began making changes in their own homes, where they inspired each other's efforts to make their homes more green. So it was primarily about creating a website, the Sustainable Lafayette, hosting successful programmings, which includes LEAF, which is a award given to middle and high school students, how to raise your own chickens. And they even have an urban farm, of which I had a chance to, an urban farm and garden, of which we had the opportunity to have a chapter event featuring Nancy Hull on recycling. Of course, Steve worked in Silicon Valley for over 18 years as a product marketing executive for Hewlett-Packard, Lotus, Netscape, and various startups. And he was the founder of the VC-funded software company. He will be relocating to Seattle, but we're happy to have him tonight, of which he has taken out of his busy scheduling of packing to be with us tonight. We're honored tonight, and in this honor and in appreciation, Pam Alio, the chair of our communication committee, has created something special for Wei Tai and Steve this evening.
I became a climate reality leader because I thought the political leaders in the United States were not acting fast enough to take action on climate change. And I was frankly mad that the science was clear and yet there was really no action happening in our leadership. While it's easy to be discouraged that the problem's so big, There are actually thousands of things that we could do. The first most important thing is to raise your voice and let people know you want change. Over the last 2 years as a climate reality leader, I've been able to speak to 2,000 people in over 40 presentations in my community, and I've been really inspired by the number of people who care about this issue, who come up to me after my presentations and say that they care too and they want to take action urgently. For me at least, I think that if I take one step at a time, small step, and I am successful at that step, then it gives me inspiration to take another and more steps. And before you know it, you just have a mindset that you're actually making progress. The world is watching. Take action now.
Awesome. Wei Tai and Steve. Thank you. Wei Tai and Steve.
Hey.
Thank you. At this time, Wei Tai and Steve, would you please open the boxes that were delivered to you today?
Oh my goodness. So this came by the UPS. It was a bit of a surprise today. I'll try to open it up here.
Go
Yes.
simultaneous timing.
I don't know where you are, Steve. I can't see you, but I'm going to. Christmas came a little early. This is all a surprise today. We did not know this presentation was going to happen. So thanks to all of you who helped organize it. Whoa, there's something inside here. This is like I'm doing a video reveal of a product. I haven't done that yet. I've made other videos, but clearly this is going to be the first.
Product reveal.
Product reveal happening right here at home. My goodness, this is a beautiful. And let's take it out and see what that is. Can you see and read it? I don't.
It says in honor and thank you for being our founders and emeritus chairs for your phenomenal leadership. You will also receive another gift that is going to be a surprise that should be coming to your door, either if you have received it today or either tomorrow, but that is a gift from the Climate Reality Bay Area chapter's leadership and our members for you and your wives.
Thank you so much. It is such a privilege and an honor. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
did what
Beautiful.
Wei Tai said. Thank you, Taryn, and thank you to everybody that was involved. This is so touching. Thank you so much.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
I
Very
get a
Thank
you,
going
guys.
away gift, even though Steve's going and I'm staying. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a going away gift for you, Wei Tai. We want to hold on to you as long as you, and of course, Steve says he's going to stay involved too, even though he's relocating. So we're counting on that as well.
Absolutely.
And I want to say that's not quite all. We have one more little thing, and I'm going to share screen again. Carolyn is going to let me do that. Okay. And let's go. There we are. All right, so we have an announcement. So, Wei Tai and Steve are fabulous guys, and, they worked really tirelessly to build this community. But I don't think they did that just because they're really great guys and really wonderful to be around. Really what they wanted to do was mobilize people and get people taking action. And so what we thought might be kind of cool was to create a little tribute to them in the way of action. And so what we're announcing is the Founders Tribute Challenge.
Whoa.
And you can tell from the background here that there's going to be a theme. For those of us that are climate reality leaders. So for climate reality leaders, and unfortunately, the rest of the chapter, we just don't have a vehicle to help count your acts that you take on behalf of Wei Tai and Steve to honor them. But so for the Bay Area chapter Climate Reality Leaders, between now and the end of April, next month is Earth Month. It's a great month to be taking a lot of climate action. Take climate action, and then log all of your acts of leadership on the hub. And when you do that, please, let me shrink this. Please enter in the brief summary, just, put at the beginning in honor of Wei Tai and Steve. I have a little example here of an act of leadership where somebody meets with Joe Biden. But so if you would just add that at the beginning. And we have a goal of having 500 acts logged by our climate reality leaders between now and the end of April. I think we can easily top that. I think a lot of people don't even really log their acts all that religiously. So do that and maybe take a few actions that you wouldn't take normally and log those in their honor. What better way to pay tribute to these guys, to take action and to help the organization that they've worked so tirelessly for, and just really acknowledge their amazing leadership and do something for them. So let's do this.
Thank you. Love it. Thank you. Great
Thank
idea.
you.
We love
Awesome
acts of
idea.
leadership. The more, the
Thank you.
better.
I know, that's right. And we, of course, that helps our organization quite a bit in justifying their funding and whatnot. The more they can show people are taking action, the better. So it helps all of us to do that. So thank you. And I know Steve left a dinner party tonight, and we really appreciate him taking time out of his very busy week trying to get moved and all that. But both of you, we so deeply appreciate all that you've done and created for us. We stand on your shoulders and appreciate it.
Deep
Thank you.
appreciation back at you.
All right. Excellent. Well, we're going to move on and get to the business of the hour. Okay, so our agenda for the remainder of our hour here is, first, we'll just give a high-level view of our strategic direction for this year. Then we're going to have each of our team leaders introduce themselves and also talk about what their team does and your opportunities to engage with them in the coming year. We'll close with some Q&A, and also then we'll do some breakouts where you'll have the opportunity to meet with team leaders. If you want to learn more about a different program or initiative, you'll have that opportunity, or you can stay out in the big room with me and Taryn. All right, so we just completed our strategic planning process the end of February, and 2021 for our mission, the way we stated it, is to take full advantage of the unique opportunity the Bay Area has at this moment in 2021 to influence unprecedented progress on climate action, climate justice, and policy changes, to lead the world in adopting and proving the viability and benefits of climate crisis and climate justice solutions. So we have a couple of pretty amazing strategic opportunities right where we sit. The first is what we've really kind of always been centered around, and that is bottom-up local action. That is what chapters were formed for with the Climate Reality Project, and it's what we remain committed to. But what's unique about our situation is we are in California, the 5th largest economy in the world, a state that is very progressive on climate action. And within that state, the Bay Area is the most progressive part of the state in enacting climate policies. So we have an opportunity with our grassroots efforts to show the way, to lead the way for the world and show them what building decarbonization, electrification of transportation, and some of these things can mean, and how viable they can be in an economy. So we remain committed to that, and we really see our position as being strategically valuable, uniquely strategically valuable here in the Bay Area. But this year also, we have this unique opportunity as of the election in November, and of course, January 20th, when our new administration came in, with the executive and legislative branches of our government being united in climate purpose. And we may only have a 2-year opportunity. We hope there'll be much more, but this is a moment where we really also need to make sure we do everything we can to help support our federal government in making the kind of moves they need to make in order for us to kind of meet this 9-year deadline to really completely change our economy. So thankfully, our parent organization, Climate Reality Project, has launched a campaign. They launched it just a few weeks ago called Our Climate Moment, very aptly named, where they are providing toolkits and a lot of resources to help chapters deploy programs to support the federal government effort. I'll talk a little bit more about that next. So this federal advocacy campaign called Our Climate Moment, the mission statement is in 2021 to mobilize activists across the country to build unrelenting pressure on Congress and the Biden administration to act quickly on targeted policy solutions in 5 key areas. And those 5 key areas are: 1, a just transition to clean energy; 2, zero carbon transportation; 3, climate justice and public health. And as Taryn mentioned, climate justice and equity is fundamental and foundational to everything we do with the Climate Reality Project and with our chapter. 4, building green communities, building efficient buildings and that type of thing. And then protecting our democracy, number 5. I've included a link here for anybody that wants to learn a little bit more about Our Climate Moment program. It's really exciting. We're so glad that it's been launched. So as far as our chapter goes, we're still forming a plan. This was only announced a few weeks ago. We do have a wonderful chapter liaison. Karen Harrington has agreed to be our liaison for that program, and she has offered to give her email address here if you would like to reach out to her. She is on the call today, and later on we'll be doing a breakout. So you can join her if you would like to learn more and offer ideas and ways that you would like to engage. So let's move on. All right, so just a quick overview of the Bay Area chapter. I've given some contact information over there. The origin, as Taryn mentioned, Wei Tai and Steve started organizing meetups, just informal meetups for Bay Area climate leaders back in 2015. And that eventually formed what is our chapter now. In August 2017, they officially formed the chapter. And we were one of the very first climate reality chapters. I believe Wei Tai was rather formative in that program even happening. The area is the greater Bay Area region, 10 counties, and actually beyond. We have members all over the state, but we focus on of course, our 10 counties in this area. We now have 1,097 members, and about half of those are trained climate reality leaders. The other half are wonderful, dedicated community members. And our organization, we have 10 teams now with 17 members of our leadership team. So this is what our growth has been like. And what really was kind of impressive here is last year we had a pandemic and we had this enormous jump in members, of course, largely because we had the 2 global training events. We added 400 members, almost 400 members last year, quite exciting. And we add members at about an average of about 1 a day. So really excited to see that continued growth since the founding of the chapter. And this is how our membership is distributed by county. Of course, you know, our more populous counties, Alameda and San Francisco, are the largest, but we have representation in all of the Bay Area counties. So we have a number of chapter teams and working groups, as I mentioned. If we kind of bundle them into 3 different buckets, we have our action teams, our alliances group. That's a very new effort for the chapter this year. We're very excited about that. The opportunity to leverage work of other organizations with similar missions and better together, right? Then we also have a business engagement team. We have a climate justice team. We have a policy action team and also county squads for most of the counties in the Bay Area. Then we also have engagement teams, membership engagement, and our presentations group. And then also communications and events teams, which is kind of our big lobby. That's where everybody comes, is to our, you know, our efforts to communicate with them and provide engaging events. And I included here a link to our website where you can learn more about each of those teams. And you will certainly learn in a minute from our wonderful leadership team about them. So there's a picture of most of our mugs, everybody except for Chelsea Nguyen, who is one of our events co-chairs. But this is what we all look like. And what we'll do now is move on to let each of these team leaders or co-leaders tell us a little bit about their efforts. First question, is Kevin here tonight? Kevin Morrison? Okay, so what I will do is I will cover first alliances. I don't think Kevin was able to join us. So Kevin Morrison in the pink here, his signature pink. He is an amazing guy, and he has agreed to chair this, and it's an inaugural year for our chapter. And what we're doing is just partnering with different NGOs and educational institutions, people that have some common interests where we can leverage our strengths as
Harriet,
messengers.
he's here if you want to let him.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear him. Okay, why don't you go ahead and go to Kevin? Let him, he'll do a much better job than I was doing.
You know, I think it's funny that I was able to listen to you and go, I can't really do better than this. Part of alliances is just making sure that all of us who are parts of teams elsewhere, because many of us are parts of teams elsewhere, have a way to reach out and include those teams, those organizations in the greater tapestry that is what we are. But it's also a question of making sure that as we do the policy outreach that we're doing greatly and broadly, that those other places that we are part of can find a way to reach us, and there's a one hand washing each other thing. It's pretty simple. It's not like I'm saying anything that isn't obvious from the word alliances, but we're going to have ways in which people contribute by crowdsourcing those specific instances where we can reach out, and then ask for ways to reach out where we don't even have somebody who's able to lead the way. And thanks, Harriet, and thanks, Taryn.
Thank you, Kevin. Wonderful. Yeah, we're really excited about that for this year and seeing how that's going to start to develop for a chapter. How about our business engagement team? Mary Dubé and Verda Alexander.
Bert, are you out there? You want to go, or you want me to talk first?
I'm here. You can go ahead.
Hey, everybody. My name is Mary Dubé and Verda Alexander. The two of us are co-chairs for the business engagement team. And and sort of philosophically, we look at business engagement as an opportunity to maximize impact. We feel that, an 11th hour strategy is one that goes beyond just awareness. And so we've designed a couple of campaigns that are both play to our strengths. So in my full-time employment, I work for HP. So I'm in the process of putting together sort of a roundtable or perhaps coalition of Bay Area headquartered large enterprises in terms of pulling together employee advocacy groups. So I, as an individual, can do so much. There's certainly some things that I can do, but I, as an employee within the enterprise, can do quite a bit more. So that's one of the campaigns that we have this year. And Verda, do you want to go next?
Sure, absolutely. Similarly, we want to make the biggest impact that we can. And I believe in leveraging our expertise, and Wei Tai gave us some great advice about how to move forward. We are just getting our feet wet and trying to move forward quickly, but we are trying to work within industries that we know. And I'm an interior designer here in San Francisco, although I live in the East Bay. And I am trying to see if I can leverage my industry, design, architecture, construction, real estate, all of the design fields. So it could be graphic design, landscape architecture, and on and on and on. So we would love some new volunteers to help us with these efforts. So if you have any expertise or interest in those industries, that would be fantastic. But any kind of interest in business engagement, we could absolutely use you. And we meet on the third Wednesday. Is that right, Mary?
Third Wednesday, 6 p.m. We'd love to have you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mary and Verda. We'll go now to our climate justice chairs, Alma and Danielle.
Hi, everyone. Danielle, do you want to go first or second?
Oh, I could go first. Hi,
Go ahead.
This is Danielle, and I'm joining you from Ohlone Land in Berkeley. And I will touch on one part of our climate justice work this year, and that is a new speaker series that we'll be introducing. Well, starting in April, we'll start with a reading circle once a month. And then in May, we'll start a speaker series where we'll be looking to the indigenous leaders of this land and Turtle Island, which today we call the United States and Canada, who've lived in harmony and sustainably here for thousands of years. We'll hear from Native American speakers themselves about US, California, and Bay Area history and what a just transition during climate change and to renewable energy could look like. And then we'll learn and unlearn some ways of being in relationship to one another and the environment, and with some opportunities for members to engage in policy action and initiatives where we can center equity and justice led by our land's first people. Thanks.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Annyeonghaseyo. I am Alma Sungi Backpack Sungi, Climate Justice Co-Chair with Danielle. As Taryn and Harriet were mentioning, climate justice is something that we are figuring out and thinking about how to integrate through everything that we do in the chapter, because it's such an integral part of ending the climate crisis. So in addition to the Indigenous justice work that Danielle mentioned, we are doing some focused work to continue what we started last year around Bay waterfront communities and radioactive waste that is already being impacted by ocean rise and affecting groundwater. So some of those key communities are Bayview, Hunters Point, Treasure Island, and Richmond, California, and very BIPOC saturated communities. So there is some really very exciting coalition work happening, and we're already connected with the San Francisco Policy Action team, as well as a number of other people on the leadership team. If you're interested in joining with that project or with what Danielle talked about, please reach out to us. We have a monthly gathering the first Wednesday of every month, and it's from 5:30 to 7. You can find it on the website in the monthly meeting section. And if you click on the link, it actually lets you send an email to me and Danielle. So that's another way to get a hold of us. The last third prong of what we're focusing on is DEIJ work, which is diversity, equity, inclusion, justice. And Mary Ruth has been a big part of that project. She and I have been co-facilitating a series of trainings to just bolster people's facilitation skills and awareness around DEIJ so that we can bring it out to the people that we talk to and have influence with in our presentations, as well as in our policy work. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Alma and Danielle. And I think I need to share screen again. We're going to move next to Pam Alio, who is our communications chair. And she sent me a few slides. So we'll go there. Sorry for the delay. And we'll do play from current slide. All right, Pam, if you're ready.
Sure.
Here clicking.
Welcome. So our, first of all, our Bay Area communications team is made up of a small but very mighty team of 3 of us that were all trained in July. So I see a lot of you trained in July with us, and we just said, how can we put the skills we know to work right away? And I think we saw that communications was an area we could all have an impact based on our expertise and career paths that we have. So our purpose is to drive awareness throughout the Bay Area community about what we do, how we do it. And we really saw, highlighting the opportunities available for volunteers to help, because we went on the website, it's like, wow, we checked all these boxes and we saw our skills, but where were the areas we could help? So we've revamped our whole website to really help guide you in what you could be interested in doing. So, there's informational content we create, and we want to highlight all of the great work that our team members have done in the Bay Area and continue to do. We do publish the newsletter, work on the website, and social media outreach. We now have social media on all channels. So I hope you guys will all sign up, look for us, and we'll be sure and publish that in the next newsletter as well. And then, lastly, we really want to focus on being the voice for those that can't speak for themselves. And so that's kind of that next step where we want to have a more diverse group here, but even those that live in areas affected by climate change, we want to share their stories. So if any of you have an interest in helping to interview and write, that's an area you could get involved in with us. So if you could switch to the next slide. These are just some kind of, quick ones to show our website. Our goal there is to engage all of our members here, and eventually, at the outside as well. We look at business engagement as a big opportunity we have with our website, and maybe eventually even our newsletter. Well, like I said, we do publish our newsletter, and that's kind of a co-joint thing where we try and publish 3 blogs and publish all of the events and keep it not too long. We know everybody's busy, and we don't want you to unlike and unsubscribe from our email channel. So go to the next one. This is a huge opportunity for you. So if you're not doing presentations, my goal is to do a presentation, but we've been very busy and changing and revamping all of this stuff, but creating content, right? Writing articles. Fossil fuels in the Bay Area. That's something I did when we were told to do that during our training this summer, right? What's something local in the area? So writing a blog about that we can share, and send me what you have and we can edit it and post it up here. We're always looking for that. We also started a series highlighting what Bay Area companies are doing. We're fortunate to live in an area where we do have a lot of progressive companies. I work for Cisco. I know Mary Dubé works for HP. And then we have the Gap and Levi Strauss. So if you read those stories on what they're doing, you can model that even for small companies of what they're doing as well. So go to the next one. I think it's the last one here. One thing we're really looking for is help in the social media realm, right? It's a lot to do. We have everything now. We have a LinkedIn, a Twitter, Facebook we've had for a while, Instagram, TikTok. We'd love some younger folks to create some cute TikTok videos that could go viral. We're hoping we can get this Wei Tai and Steve Richards video going viral. So hopefully we'll post that this weekend, and then find it, like it, and let's see if Al Gore can like it as well. I think that's a good target goal for us. So that's it. Please reach out to us and work with Tammy Chung and Alakoka Ka'alani and myself. And we'd love to have you join us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Pam. And thanks again for that amazing video. All right, so we'll go to the events team with, we have Chelsea and Carolyn, who's also running our Zoom for us tonight. So she's multitasking. There
Hi,
she is.
everyone. As Harriet mentioned, I am one of the events team co-chairs. We, as our name suggests, support events for the rest of the chapter. We are looking for some volunteers potentially to help run some of these virtual meetings. So if you are looking for a place for your skill set to match up, we need some help planning and executing some of our virtual events. And we're also looking to do some engagement events as well. And Chelsea has some really cool ideas about that.
Hi, my name is Chelsea and I work with Carolyn. She's been really awesome picking up some of the workload while I've been busy with work, and we lost somebody at work, so I'm doing double duty right now. But what I really wanted to do was to have a monthly meeting where informal, where we can have maybe newbies, new members to come and just to find out more about what we do. And also just to folks, not just new folks, but folks just like to share like what they're doing in their daily lives, that they are making a difference. And I think that's would be really helpful, and not just, okay, well, we have this huge goal, but I think if we can just, how we can make small changes in our daily lives. So something that is informal that we can have over, after work happy hour, bring your own food and just meet over Zoom, and then maybe hopefully eventually we can really meet in person. So this is what I'm thinking about, is that to get our members more engaged, I think, than anything else. So
Wonderful.
That's the ideas that I have. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you both so much. Okay, so let us go to Mary Ruth of membership engagement.
Hi, everybody. I'm the membership engagement chair, and I have some very administrative tasks or keeping up our membership list. But the plans for this year, I think, include really figuring out how to connect our membership to the work that they really want to do. A lot of us got trained at various, of the leadership trainings. And so there are ways that I want to be working with the other chairs of committees to figure out ways to engage members in, say, doing more presentations, figuring out where to put their energies. Thanks to Wei Tai and Steve, we are not simply a speech-making organization. With it, there are so many other places that people can get involved. And the core of it is that we know what's happening with the climate, and we want to communicate that to people. And that's still step one for us. And getting us all together, moving in the same direction and connected to each other. I think there's certainly been harder this past year, but as we meet in person more, we'll be able to connect with each other and support each other throughout the next decade or two as we fix this problem.
Yes, excellent. Thank you so much, Mary Ruth. Okay, policy action with the man of the hour, Wei Tai.
Hi, yeah, thank you. Wei Tai Kwok, and I'm one of the co-chairs along with Matt Bogosian, who could not be here with us tonight. But the policy action group has actually got a very enriched year this year with a lot more moving parts than we've had in past years. Historically, our policy action thesis is focused on local action at the city and county level with our local governing bodies. And that most of those are only 5-member boards. And if we can get 3 votes, we can try to pass GHG reducing policies by a date certain. That's our basic theory of change. And this year, our theme continues to be the same as last year's theme, which is building electrification and getting rid of natural gas in new building construction and pressing more for all electric buildings. So that's still a core of what we do. And we do that across at the county level with the San Francisco County, Marin, Sonoma County. We have a Solano squad. We have a Contra Costa squad. We have new squads popping up, and we need help in San Mateo and Alameda to reach a critical mass. So if any of you are interested in jumping on board and helping there, please let me know. In addition to the local action that we're working on, we are starting to go after more state policy action by collaborating with other climate reality chapters across California. And that's a new effort that we started this year to try to hone in on which bills and which themes would we go after. We would like to continue pressing on building electrification, since that's an area that we're trying to build competency in and that we could assess what bills are good. Antonina Markov, who is on this call and was last year's co-chair, she is one of the persons leading up that effort with Steve Sanders. And finally, as Harriet mentioned to you, we have an exciting new federal campaign led by our headquarters office, which is having us help out in the Bay Area to go after our members of Congress, Senator Feinstein, our local congresspersons, Alex Padilla, and that would be to press them for federal changes that and support the Biden administration's new strong initiatives on climate in this very tight window of 2 years where we think we can get some significant policy change. So it's really a lot of stuff going on this year. And this is the US and China are the world's biggest carbon polluters. And so to do our share, we can help, you can help, we can all help at the local, state, and federal level this year.
Wonderful. Okay, thanks, Wei Tai. All right, next we'll go to our presentations team, Gary and Jim.
Okay, well, hello, everyone. My name is Gary. I am one of the graybeards of the group, figuratively and literally. I've been with the group for since the beginning and have been very, very active, primarily with presentations. Now, presentations, let me just underscore, has been a core competency of our chapter and every other chapter for that matter across the country. We're now starting to diversify, which is great, but presentations are still the coin of the realm and still very, very important to the organization, given its educational bent and its activism. Jim and I are co-chairs. And what we'd like you to consider us for is really a resource to each person in the chapter who is thinking about or planning to give a presentation. And if people need assistance doing that, need some help pulling a slideshow together that might be more specialized, creating customized slides, whatever it might be, partnering with you, giving the presentation, etc. We are really here to serve you. And so we'd really love to help you any way we can. That's all I'll say, and I'll hand it over to Jim.
Okay, just a short word about one of the projects we have already started, and that's expanding our archive of locally produced slideshows. We received about a dozen slideshows from some of our most prolific presenters, just to get a sense for what kind of value there might be in mining that data for making it available to our full membership. And I think we've convinced ourselves that there's some really terrific information there, great slides. This is beyond the slides that are in the standard Gore set. Of course, all of us who have gone through all those slides realize we don't need more slides in some cases, but we do need slides that are specific to the Bay Area and cover specific topics. So what's left is us to formalize the submission process so we can make sure that they're described correctly. They are all appropriately labeled with information, and then make it available to our members on our website. And it's funny, our presentation team, we all seem to be graybeards. So with that, I'll end.
Hair color, it works.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much, Gary and Jim. All right. So, and I owe Alice an apology. We're going to go now to Alice Sung, who is heading up our youth climate action. On a previous slide, that was some legacy material, and youth climate action was not included in one of those engagement team bubbles. So I apologize, Alice. I kind of leveraged old material, but very important effort for our chapter, and I feel badly for this slide. But,
No problem. We're a new team, so no harm done there. And we're just getting started. So I'm Alice Sung, recovering architect and co-chair now of the Youth Climate Action Team, otherwise known as YCAT. I need to herd some cats because we haven't actually had a lot of chance to actually meet. So last night actually was our first inaugural meeting. We had 4 people attend. So woohoo!
All it takes is one person to make a difference.
You're right. And I just have to say, I was so inspired, and I'm still inspired every day, which is why I do this, by our youth leadership, our youth activists, their energy, their commitment, their passion, and their initiative. Absolutely amazing. So we heard from one team member where they had actually gone on their own initiative already to not only to their school district, but to their own town council, and spoke in front of the mayor and the council members to push for building electrification and reach codes and alignment with their school district. So I am so impressed with our youth today. So I am very excited. We will meet. So if any of you know any youth or other members right out there who want to get involved, high school age, send them to, well, on the calendar, we'll have the meetings posted, but they're going to be the second Fridays of every month, 5 to 6 p.m. So send your youth. Sons, daughters, I'll take them. And we're working on one major initiative first, which is associated with the Green Schools campaign. Some of you may have been at our chapter meeting late in January, I think it was late January, early February, where the Green Schools campaign youth activists came and gave a great presentation. And we're going to actually do great things partnering with them and try to locate school boards that would be amenable to listening to our youth. And we're trying to work with the youth to let them actually drive their own initiatives after this one. And so we haven't figured that out yet, but when we get a quorum, I am also looking for 3 youth co-chairs. so that I can pass on the baton to them and just step back and mentor them and just be their support. But we really want to actually empower them to take the reins and move forth and support them as much as we can. So that's the YCAT.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alice. We really appreciate you taking up that task this year. She mentored a whole bunch of high school climate reality leaders last summer, and she just has a real gift for working with younger people. So we're happy to have her.
Well, it's
All
been
right.
my life's work working with schools. So
Well, you can tell. So anyway, okay, well, I'm going to go back to screen sharing here. And we are going to, so we have gone a little long. What I want to say is if you are able to stay for a few minutes, we would still like to do the breakouts and give everybody a chance. If you want to break out and learn more about a team, we can do that. I'm actually going to go ahead and skip this slide other than to point out that even if you don't join a team, still tune into our chapter with our communications, our email outreach and our online presences with social media. Attend our chapter events. Think about becoming a climate reality leader. We have leadership training coming up April 22nd through May 2nd. And the deadline to register for that is March 24th. So great opportunity to really become somebody who's an effective climate messenger. And then of course you have the option to join our team. So that brings us to the end of kind of our program. What we would like to do is still do the breakout. So those of us that can stay, if you would like to learn more about one of our teams, go into one of the breakouts. If you would just have general Q&A and can stay and chat with us, Taryn and I will be in the kind of the main room. And so anyway, we thank you for your time. We're sorry we went over a little bit, and we would love it if you guys could hang, and we'll do maybe about a 6 or 7 minute breakout so people could just at least introduce themselves and talk about what you're interested in. And then we will close things up after that.